member search.
Then
okay.
you hit contacts. Then it says use existing view, and you go all contacts. And this is what I do. You go down here and you look for email address. Then the operator, instead of equal, you change it to contains. And then you put in the ampersand sign. Then your next field, you actually have to put in who the account owner is. So you go down to account owner. I only need last name because there's no other Morgan, equals, and I put Morgan. Now if you only want to pull up a specific industry, then the next thing you would do.
And Liz, you can do like a best practices here and send us like a walkthrough of this maybe?
Step by step?
Of this screen?
I guess so.
Because we're not going to necessarily remember.
So you want to go to account industry, if it ever pops up, equals, and then you hit the search button, and it gives you the different industries. So if you only want to do restaurants for TLS, this is only if you want to target an email to a specific group.
Liz finds her best success with postcard emails, so she sends them to all industries.
Yes.
Correct?
I do. And I usually send one more targeted one and then 3 general with the postcard prices.
Okay, that's a good point.
And the targeted one is I might have 4 set up for the same date. One for restaurants, one for home improvement, and I'll just pull them up by industry.
So you said 1 targeted?
And three using the email, the postcard pricing. Because what I have found and what I need you all to understand is that every account that I have sold that's over $20,000 a year, at the end of the day came from an email. That was the first touch conversation. Some of them I was emailing for 2 years. One guy, Invisible Fence, told me, I called him years ago when I started. He said, he said, here's my email, whatever. He said, keep me posted, and I promise you, I will get in touch with you when I'm ready to do something. But do not call me. So he stayed on my list. He never opted out. Right before I went for surgery, because he picked the best time in the world, that's when he called me and emailed me, and he responded right back to an email and said, call me. I'm thinking about postcards. I'm ready to go.
Not everybody does that where they respond right away to you, and we're going to get to that in follow-up.
Well, not everyone gets to me, right. But my big sales have all been ones where I might have been emailing them for a year, 6 months, 8 months, longer. And then finally one day they sent me a response saying, can you send postcards here? Do you send postcards that,
And Liz, let's point out, the only work you had to do in the beginning is put it in and then set up your emails and make sure they were a part of it. And that's it.
Right, and you're not going to see the fruits of your labor every week. There could be weeks, and I mean weeks or months, where not one person is going to reach out to you directly, or you might not even know it. I discovered later on down the line that sometimes I'd come in and people would come to the phone, and then only when I was at the appointment, and sometimes they don't say it, but I've come to discover that it turns a cold lead into a warm lead. I've had some people say to me, oh, I finally took that call because I know who Liz Morgan is. Like, you've been showing up, sending me stuff every week.
So it's a time saver. It's part of working smart.
Every week?
I do every week.
To every customer every week?
I set one up every week. 3 times a
Not
month.
just at the end of the round?
I set it up at the end of the round for one to go out every week.
I gotta learn how to do that.
So I forecast out, so I'll set up 6 or 7 or 8. And like I said, the majority of them should be postcards, because postcard is the thing that gives us a little edge.
Get you in the door, right?
Right. With restaurants, I would also highly push any menu ones or anything that you
CCO,
can find.
TLS.
CCO, TLS, also. But
Lacey has a question.
yes.
I want to know, so you send them something every week. When you see that they've opened it, do you call them?
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
Follow up.
That's
Yeah.
my question.
In the follow-up, which
Yeah.
is the key point. But
Okay.
the key to make this work also is that when you pick your 10 or 15 people, you got to get their email and their cell phone numbers. And remember, everything's got to go into the contact form.
So that goes back to what I was talking to you about is putting in your accounts. So in the beginning, you may not have that information, but you want to get it.
And you can be tricky. You know, Donna Mast last year when I presented with her taught me a trick that I didn't even think of. She's like, Liz, you know what I have my people do? I just have them call the number and say, listen, do you have the email address for Steve? I'd really like to send him something. And 80% of the time, the person on the phone gives you the email address. I can't understand some people, and I've written them wrong, I will be honest with you.
Yeah.
You can also go to Facebook, go to the About for a business, and you will find a lot of email addresses. The third is there's a website called hunter.lo, and I will put in the websites for companies, and if there's email addresses on board, they will pull them up for me. I use that a lot. So it's very key, but that phone call thing, I also started asking for cell phone numbers. I used to never do it. Now I do it all the time. I try to ask for cell phone numbers. I don't text unless we have a relationship. I have discovered people get really angry. So
They have the opposite. People get mad when I call them, but they'll respond to me via text.
well, if they know me, but if it's totally
Yeah.
cold, nobody wants a cold text.
Yeah.
Everyone listens. I don't talk to a lot of people now. Once they're clients and good, they
Yeah.
text all the time. But you can't cold call text. People
Yeah.
freak out. So it's very important that you get this information, and that those 10 or 15 that you really know you want to sell, make it your business.
10 or 15 a week.
A week. Make it your business to get that field filled out, and it has to go into the contact field. It cannot go onto the main screen.
Because the whole idea is we want you to touch them in different ways, right? So part of it is if you're spending your time bothering to walk that shopping center and open those 150 doors a week, we want to make sure that you're getting the information. Even if you don't get it that moment, make sure you do get it so that you can then put them in here.
Dig.
Just a question. I noticed it's 11:10. I've got to leave at 11.